signed by the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Bedanza, Gannon Burr himself, Chris Clemens, himself, boy Travis. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is super long, overdue. We're going to be doing an in the bag, and I've been wanting to do one of these videos for so long, and I've just been putting it off. Just kind of what was in my bag for the 2025 season and kind of what I'm looking forward and looking to add going into 2026. Just a couple things to start the video off. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be putting out a lot more content in the 2026 season, along with disc reviews, tournament vlogs, and basically just anything disc golf. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button and that like button. Yeah, let's just get into the video. Yeah, to start for the 2026 season, I am going to be sponsored by Accretion Disc. Again, we got these really sick jerseys. Mike at Accretion Disc. I'll throw a video up as I'm talking, but they've got so many discs there. They are amazing, super local, and you can actually shop online. And I'll throw that link up here. I believe it's just accretiondisc.com. They're in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and like I said, they got plenty of stuff to do. And as you've seen in the video, they also have a tech disc in the back. So if you are watching this in the winter, as it is winter right now, you can head on in there if you're local and kind of throw around in a tech disc and kind of see what your numbers are. Really big shout out to Mike at Accretion Disc for not only this jersey, but a couple of the disc in my bag, and big thank you to Mike at Accretion. But I do have the AX5 here, which is a grip bag. I actually have the Chris Dickerson camo orange. My favorite color is orange, if you kind of can't tell already. I do have a lot of orange disc in the bag, but I do really like the AX5. I would say it's a little big for my liking. If I would get another grip bag, I think I would go with the AX3, I believe. So just a little bit smaller. I just don't carry that many discs in my bag. And yeah, I think just a smaller, compact, little bit lighter of a bag would be a little bit nicer. But yeah, and then I have my YouTube Riley Rankin DG. I actually got that for a birthday present from my girlfriend this year. Really sick, so gotta subscribe. And then we got the grip backwards. I guess that's a cool thing to do, so we're rolling with that to there. We'll start with my putters. I got some rubber blend Lunas. They are pretty beat up. I actually got a brand new pair. Might start working in a little bit, but these are the money makers, I guess you can say, or even just the money losers. I don't know if that's a thing, but they either win me tournaments or they make me lose tournaments. They're either on or they're off, but I do really like the Lunas. They're really consistent. I'm not much of a bead guy, so there's no bead. They're super grippy, and I got a Circle 1 guy and a Circle 2 guy, so just a slightly different stamp, same exact disc though, but I do putt with the Lunas. And then as a throwing putter, I actually do have another Luna here. It is a soft blend Luna. I know Isaac Robinson throw these, but essentially it's a super flippy. I can throw it on pretty much a hyzer. It'll flip up and over really good in the woods, and kind of just a really good scramble approach turnover shot with the backhand. So feels amazing in the hand, super beat in, like I said. And I actually will putt with it sometimes if I need to really reach out or get some extra distance, as like I said, it is pretty flippy. So if I'm out 100 feet, I'll more than likely throw this guy out just to get that little bit extra range and flippiness to it, so it stays in the air just a little bit longer, and I've had some luck with it. So yeah, soft blend Luna. The next disc I have is one I absolutely love. I actually got it last year in our fundraising event for college disc golf, and it is the Lone Star Benny. It's a really good disc. It's essentially a stable Luna, extremely glidey. It has a bead on here that does make it a little bit stable, but this is a guy I can throw flat and it's just gonna go dead straight. Essentially the angle you put it on is the angle it's gonna be. You can flip it up a little bit, but it is super glidey. And if I hit this guy hard, I could probably get it out to the 280 to 300 foot range on a really good day. So, Lone Star Benny. And then this is where things get interesting a little bit, but I actually do have 4 zones in the bag at the moment. We'll start with my favorite. We have a Get Freaky Zone Crystal Flex. This guy is by far the longest tenured disc I have in my bag. It is super straight. I can throw it on an any angle and it's probably gonna hold it and flip a little bit more. I can throw it on a hyzer angle and it's gonna flip up. But it is strictly a forehand disc. If I'm scrambling or just have a simple forehand approach shot, I'm gonna bring this guy out. But as you guys can see, it's super beat in. Yeah, just an overall great disc. One of the discs in my bag where if I lose it, I've told my little brother before, I'm probably quitting disc golf. And I came close to losing it multiple times. So, great disc. The next disc I have in the bag is a Zono S, another orange disc. We might as well get an orange disc counter rolling down in the bottom corner there because we got a lot of them. But this is just a disc that I've kind of been struggling on my approach shots. I've been just burning them over, especially my forehands. So this is a disc that kind of comes in and out of the bag, but it's obviously just super reliable. I know it's gonna come out and just be extremely overstable. So kind of another just forehand approach shot, just super overstable, as most of you guys know. Next disc I have here is the Zone Ringer Top GT Concept. One of the test flights here. Another overstable zone that I have in the bag, but one that I don't really throw that much, as I've come to realize that I think it's more of a form issue that I have going on than a disc issue. I tend to put a lot of torque on my forehand shots, which tend to burn them over and make them have a hard time coming out. And for the longest time I was looking for an overstable zone, and I really just think it's more of a forehand form issue that I have going on. But so not one I throw a lot, but if there is a headwind and I need an overstable disc that still goes further than my Zone OS, probably pulling this guy out. Next disc I have here is a Zone Super Beat In. This guy's more of a straight backhand zone that I have here. It is a Z plastic. As you guys can see, it's super beat in, slightly puddle top, but essentially just a straight zone. I can rip it pretty hard flat and it's gonna go straight for a little bit and still come out towards the end. Got a couple of aces just at some short courses with this guy, but one of those everyone's just gotta have it. Super beat in, backhand, straight zone. Next, we're gonna get into my mid-ranges. And yeah, I only got 3 mid-ranges in the bag at the moment. We'll start with the most overstable. I do have a Quake in the bag. It's actually a DMC DGA Quake, one I got at the Des Moines Challenge, I think a couple of years ago now, but my boy Travis actually got me on the Quake. And this one's starting to come in a little bit more beat in than I do like it to be, or that I would like it to be, but still just an overall pretty overstable disc. But I have noticed towards the end of the season that, like I said, it's getting beat in and it'll kind of start going a little bit more straighter than I want, but a really far flying 5-speed, the Quake. The next disc, another orange disc that I have in the bag, is a 4-time Another disc that I have in my bag, another orange disc, is a 4-time Buzz Paul McBeth beautiful disc here. And it's pretty overstable buzz for a buzz, at least, and at least for me. My boy Travis actually hooked me up with this disc for a crazy deal. He gave it to me, and it's one of those discs that will probably never leave my bag. Pretty overstable, like I said. If I hit it flat, it'll probably just ride flat and head to the left. If I put a little angle on it, it will still probably come out at the end. Just a disc you need. Straight flyer, really good in the woods, and yeah, it goes straight. It's a buzz. Next disc I have here is a Buzz SS. It's an amazing complement to the Buzz there. A disc I can hit flat and it's just gonna burn over to the right and never come back. Really far flying mid as well, super glidey. And a disc I was missing in my bag for a very long time. I didn't think I needed it, but I actually pull this guy out quite often if I don't want to throw a forehand shot. So really, really, really fun disc to have, and just hit it flat and just let it drift to the right. It's a beautiful shot. Next slot we'll go over is my fairway driver. As some of you guys may know, if you know me pretty well, I love my Raptors, and right now we're actually only bagging 3 at the moment, which, I think I've had up to 5 or 6 in my bag at one time, but absolutely love the Raptors. So we'll start with the most overstable one here. We got a Glow Raptor here, super overstable, really good forehand disc, backhand disc, fairway, like I said, just kind of a meat hook of a fairway. What I need, if there's a headwind or just something I need a skip shot, definitely gonna pull this guy out. I actually got this guy down in Jonesboro, Arkansas at a college event. So it was a disc I got for free. So that was pretty good. That was pretty cool, pretty good find for a pretty overstable Raptor. The next disc I have is a Blue Raptor. And for some reason, this ESP plastic, or this exact run of Raptors, they beat in so good. This guy's actually getting very close to what this guy's beat into, but essentially just a straight flying fairway driver. I can hit this guy flat, and it's more than likely just going to go straight. It might flip just a tad bit, but just a neutral, straight flying disc. One I've thrown a lot, and another disc I've had in my bag for a very, very long time. Again, another Raptor. This is a yellow Raptor, though. It's actually signed by Chris Clemens himself. He actually came to the Titan Open, and I had him sign it when he was on Discraft, so that was pretty cool. But this disc is another disc in my bag that I could not lose. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind type of disc. With it being a Raptor, it still has its stability at the end, but it's flippy. So I can hit it flat, and it's going to drift to the right, but still have a big bite at the end of it. It's amazing in the woods. It's a great scramble forehand shot because I can hit it flat, and it's going to flip, but then have an extremely bite on the end. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind type of disc, and yeah, one I could not lose. So, and then the next disc I have in the bag is a Discraft Heat. I've actually lost my favorite Heat that I had in my bag at the Driftless Open. I lost it at the Driftless 18 course. Kind of just a stupid mistake by my end, but it was a 6-claw purple. I would love to get it back if you are in that area. I've gone and looked for it a couple times now and just cannot find it. But I'll pop up a picture here of where I think it is. I just threw it at the end of a tournament. Thought I knew where it went. Have no idea. So, like I said, I've gone back and looked for it for, I think, 2 or 3 times now and just have had 0 luck. So, yeah, if you find it, definitely going to have a cash prize with it. So, but I have this replacement in the bag. It's a little bit more flippier than the one I had, but it does the trick. I don't really throw a flippy fairway as often, but when the time comes, it's here if I need it. So, All right, next we'll get to our distance drivers here, and definitely not a super far thrower when it comes to disc. I probably can max out at 400 if I really get a hold of it, but I would say I can hit 380 to 390 pretty consistently if I really get a hold of one. So we'll start with overstable and kind of go to flippy from there. But I actually do have a signed PD2 from Discmania, and it's, like I said, it's signed by the one and only Gannon Burr himself. Super overstable. I guess I wouldn't say super overstable, but stable for me. Something that's just always going to go left. Kind of a meat hook if I need a skip shot, or a really good forehand disc as well. I've been starting to throw it a little bit more on forehand shots. So signed PD2 by Gannon, and he actually signed it when I was in Arizona. If you haven't seen that video, yeah, go check out that video. It's pretty cool video there. And the next stable disc I have in my bag is a Foundation Destroyer signed by my boy Travis. Another orange disc in the bag. This is the disc. I actually beat Travis for the very first time at Penn in Iowa City. So I had him sign it. He gave the disc to me the day before, and I was throwing it really well that day, and it's kind of just found that slot in my bag for a pretty stable to straight destroyer. If I throw it into headwind, it'll flip up a little bit, but pretty overstable for the most part, and goes a mile because it's a destroyer. So and it's orange. So the next disc I have in the bag is a pretty flat destroyer. I had this amazing dye job done myself. As you can tell, I'm a professional. Tried to use a permanent marker and kind of failed miserably. So but this is one that's more of a woods disc. It's on the lighter side, one that I could throw into a headwind and possibly flip over. It's kind of a straight to overstable disc here. Really good forehand disc. As with this destroyer, it's a little bit more domey, and I have a harder time throwing a domey disc on forehand, so this one kind of fills that slot. It's definitely more of a forehand disc, and I've actually thrown it to probably 340 to 360 feet before on a really good forehand shot. So yeah, pretty good forehand flat destroyer. Next we have the Zeus. Man, this disc is another one of those discs that I cannot live without. Crazy story, and I'll try to keep it short for you guys, but I actually lost this disc a couple of times now, and it's always came back to me. But the most craziest story is I lost it at college nationals on the big par 5 across the water. I lost it off of the tee shot, threw it into the water, went and looked for it for, I don't know, probably an hour, and couldn't find it. It was super gross water, and I probably went 2 to 3 months without it in the bag. And shout out to my boy Xander. He actually found it on a website. Some random guy was selling it down in Charlotte, and it happened to pull up on his feed, and he's like, dude, this looks exactly like the Zeus you lost. And I was like, holy crap, it looks exactly like it. I had the guy take a picture of the back, and you can see it literally has, that's how it's like the R, the Y, the R, and then my phone number. This is exactly how it looked, and he had marked it off, and he was trying to sell it. I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have had him, if he had called me or texted me, I probably would have gave him $50 to get this disc back, but actually ended up only paying, I think, $10 to have it shipped. But this is just a disc, like I said, I could not live without. It's one of those discs I can hit flat, and it's kind of drift to the right, but still come out of it. Kind of similar, kind of in between like the blue and yellow Raptor in my bag, but really doesn't go the farthest. It's not the glidiest, but really good feeling disc, and it's kind of beat into that perfect slot. Next disc is my bomber disc. If you can't tell, it's extremely domey. I think this is a 171 Emperor, signed by the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Bedanza. I had caddied for him at the Des Moines Challenge all 3 days. Go check his channel out and those videos out. It was an absolute blast caddying for him. But I was able to get one of these bomber orange destroyers from him that he was actually throwing in the tournament. And if you watch the Creators Challenge, he actually threw this on hole 17 on the left side. And that's when he had his really crazy good shot with it. But it's a bomber. I've probably thrown this disc, I don't know, probably 450 feet, and that's like pretty far for me, but it's pretty flippy. I can hit it on hyzer and it'll flip up, but max distance, if I put it on a little bit of angle and give it some height, I've definitely really poked out with this disc. So one of those discs that I've also lost a couple of times and I've gotten it back, but it's just super, super domey and it goes a mile. One of the first discs that made me believe that, you know, dome makes disc go further. Yeah, it's nuts what it can do. And then lastly, the last disc in my bag is a Discraft Scorch. Just a super flippy, if I have a huge ripping tailwind, I can even throw some rollers with it. Kind of just a utility disc in my bag. One I don't really throw a lot, but it's just an ESP Scorch and it's in the bag right now. So a couple other pockets, things I have in here. I always have to carry like 10 minis because I lose about a mini a round. So I have so many minis. I usually have a Bushnell rangefinder as well on me. You got multiple Sharpies, lots of towels in here as well. Always got to have the shades ready because I can't see. I'm throwing into the sun. I got one of these bands, warm-up bands, and then obviously you got to have some off deep in the woods for all those mosquitoes and gnats hanging around, especially here in Iowa. And then I got a whole bunch of these DD chalk bags that I absolutely love. I think that's it. Like I said, I usually have a Bushnell rangefinder in the bag as well. And here it is. So yeah, something that I never thought I would be using, but I definitely use it a lot, especially on approach shots. It's definitely probably saved me a couple of strokes. So yeah, that's gonna do it for a super quick in the bag video. I'm not gonna really throw too many videos. Yeah, it's kind of just a me talking and kind of telling you more so the stories of the disc rather than kind of how they fly and kind of how I would use them on the course. Yeah, let me know what you thought of my bag in the comment section down below. And let me know if you guys throw any of these exact disc or something similar. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned this far and just listening to me rant about all my disc and my bag. If you guys are still here, hit that subscribe button, like button, do all the YouTube things. You guys know the drill. Be nice to yourself.